We have our special guest in our studio, Merit Stiles, and she is the leader of NDP of Ontario, and she is also leader of opposition. First of all, I'm thankful to Ryan Gurchern. He is our very dear friend, and Ryan used to do Peel Matters show on our radio channel a long time back. So he's working with her now. Welcome to our studio, first of all, Merit.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I'm also glad to have Ryan working with me these days. Yeah, lovely to be here.
Thank you so much. And first of all, congratulations. You have been given very big responsibility. I know Andrea was working very hard, and she did a wonderful job as leader of NDP. Now you have been given the same responsibility. How are you taking this?
Well, they are big shoes to fill,
Yeah,
absolutely, and it is a big, important role. I feel very privileged to be the new leader of the official opposition, NDP, and I'm looking forward to continuing along the lines of a lot of what Andrea attained for us, but hopefully taking it to the next level. I am very focused on how we build a movement to hopefully form government in 2026, and that's only 3 years away, so we have a lot of work to do.
Okay, before we move on to provincial issues, Andrea always had good relation with the Peel region.
Yes.
People of Brampton, people of Peel, and she was in Peel many a times, and particularly during election time. She was in our studio many a times, and she had special bond with Bramptonian and people of Peel region. So we can expect same from you?
Absolutely. And, in the leadership race that was happening in the fall, I had an opportunity to come through a number of times, and I intend to keep doing that. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have a new Democrat elected in the region right now. We need to change that. And so I'm going to make sure that I'm here to listen, to continue to work with people here in the Peel region, and to make sure that we're bringing those concerns, those ideas to Queen's Park. It's very, very important that the opposition is pushing and advocating for the needs of people who live in the Brampton and Peel region.
Okay, Jagmeet Singh started his career from Brampton, and he became deputy leader of the House, and then he moved on, of course, to federal, but he had his impact in this region, and at a time came when NDP had 3 MPPs from Brampton, but during last election they couldn't repeat it. But now, of course, the focus will be again to regain the ground.
Absolutely. I think that we were fortunate to have Jagmeet and then Grethen and Sarah and Kevin. We had a very strong team here. We will continue to work, across our caucus and MPPs to, again, bring those issues forward. But I think what I'm hearing from people here in the region, and in Brampton in particular, is that they're missing a bit of that, hands-on, really active representation. New Democrats are great community leaders, and we're going to keep doing that, but we need to be present in these ridings. That's why I'm here today. That's why I'm meeting with folks like Punjab Community Health Services and others, so that I can continue to advocate around the issues that many of them were pursuing with community members.
Okay, Peel and particularly Brampton is one of the fastest growing city in country. It has its own challenges. Most of the immigrants are settling here in Brampton and in Peel region, of course. We have health care issues. We have transportation issues, we have crime, multiple issues. So as far as health care is concerned, we were waiting eagerly, Prevent should announce full-fledged hospital. We are not getting that, though Premier is saying that 250 beds hospital will be coming, but we don't know the deadline yet. So I'm sure you must be advocating for Peel region all these issues in the provincial parliament.
Yeah, I think we're all very disappointed that what the government's inaction, really, they made a lot of promises, a lot of commitments, and we haven't really seen them live up to that so far. 250 beds is not going to cut it. That's barely going to break even with the need as it exists right now. We need an urgent care 24/7 facility. We need emergency rooms. We need cancer care now. I just came from Punjab Community Health Services talking about the urgent mental health and addiction issues, which is everywhere in this province. But as you said, here in Peel Region, people are very underserved. It's a growing community, rapidly growing, and supports and services have not kept up. So Doug Ford wants to talk about continuing to build roads and continuing to build housing, but it's not affordable housing. It's not the supports and the services that people here living here now need, and that growing population is going to need. And so I'm very concerned that what's happening is going to create an even greater crisis if we don't act quickly.
Okay, one thing I would like to bring to your notice also, I was interviewing Ruby Sahota, our member parliament from Brampton North. Then I interviewed Nina Tangri, who has been appointed as the Associate Minister of Housing. All these international students who are coming here, particularly the girls, we have hardly any accommodation for them.
Yeah.
20 people are living in one house. So it's overcrowded, and of course it's illegal also. Mm-hmm. So why don't we have a mandate on these career colleges that they must create some kind of accommodation, in-campus accommodation. Most of them are running in 2 or 3 house rooms. So sometimes we are surprised, are they really career colleges? Are they able to provide the level of standard of education? These students are coming here, so they are minting money, but they are running away from the responsibility.
Absolutely. I think there's 2 things. One is we absolutely need to work with those colleges, but also other, post-secondary institutions, universities and colleges that are, bringing in international students at an extraordinary rate. And our publicly funded institutions are in desperate need of funding. They're underfunded, funded less than in any other province in this country. And so to make up for that, they're bringing in a vast number of international students. As you said, there's also the sort of private career colleges. None of them have any strings attached.
Infrastructure.
And there's no infrastructure, there's no strings attached. They need to be reminded, and we need to impose, I think, strict rules and regulations around the kind of support that they should be expected to provide if they are bringing these students into the country. And we want those students here. We want them here. We want to encourage people to come to Canada. We want to retain them. We know there's enormous talent and skills out there. But if we continue to treat those students the way they are being treated here, we're going to see more and more of those students in crisis. And as you know, we are seeing that in our hospitals, in our food banks, in our communities. I know that many of I was at a Gurdwara not long ago, and they were talking about the number of international students that they feed. We know that the need is there, and government at all levels needs to actually be acting now to ensure that there are strings attached if they're going to be bringing in these students.
Wonderful, and I'm sure you are going to strongly advocate that also. Okay, there is a very hot debate going on in our province. Premier Ford is saying that they don't have any other solution other than to start this private health care, and people are waiting for 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 years time for even small kind of operation, hip operation, knee operation, foot operation. And he's saying that the only way that we should have parallel healthcare system, maybe we can say it private healthcare system. When they will start, how it will work, we are all in dark. You have to say anything?
Well, I'm very concerned about the government's plans because, look, the issue we have right now in healthcare is a human resource issue. We need to create more, obviously here in the Peel region, we need more beds. That's a reality. We need more care. But we're having trouble recruiting and retaining the people that need to provide that care, nurses, PSWs. And so that is the crisis that we're facing right now. If this government sets up a new system where it's private healthcare companies who are dying to make some money off of our healthcare system, let's be clear, they're going to drag all those workers, those nurses out of our public hospitals that are already struggling. And that means that people in hospitals and in long-term care who are struggling with more complex issues are going to be left without the care they need. So I'm concerned about, I think the solution, and we do need a solution, but the solution is to fund publicly funded health care, to create more long-term care spaces, certainly, but also and urgent care clinics like here in Peel. That's what we need to be doing right now. The dollars that they're going to spend in private care, a portion of that is going to go into shareholder pockets, when it really should be going, every single penny should be going into patient care. And I'm concerned about that, and I'm concerned about what it's going to cost people, because we're already all struggling with the cost of living going up so much. This is going to mean absolutely additional fees for Ontarians for the kind of health care that really should be provided through our government.
Okay. NDP was expecting to form government. Fine. It was people's mandate, and whatever mandate they gave, you must have accepted that, NDP must have accepted that. Now you will be trying your best to form the government in the next election again. We have 3 years' time, as you said. Mr. Ford has got a huge majority. Sometimes we feel as if he's behaving like a dictator, or sometimes
Yeah.
he is least bothered about the opposition. So we understand Liberal, they have their own challenges, electing new leader and gaining ground. But what will be the role of NDP and as a leader for the next 3 years?
Well, for one thing, it's absolutely crucial that we do hold the government to account, right? That is the fundamental, that's the foundation of democracy. So it is my job to hold Mr. Ford to account for the decisions that he's making. I'm very concerned that he does seem to think that Ontario is his own personal playground, that he can make changes like paving over the green belt, farmland, important agricultural land that we need to feed future generations, to build luxury sprawl housing that I think isn't going to be affordable for people. And he's doing these things to the benefit of a very small number of people who have donated large amounts to his party. So I'm really concerned about how regular people are getting left behind by his decisions. So I'm going to continue to hold him to account, but I think it's also really important that we are putting forward solutions. So healthcare was one example, absolutely. But housing too. We do need to increase the housing stock we have in our province, but we need deeply affordable housing. We need other options for young families, like rent geared to income. And we need to address these issues urgently. But we need to hold the government to account, and also we need to come forward with proposals that Ontarians will hear and understand, and that they'll see coming into the next election that we can do better, that there's hope.
Okay, last question before we wind it up. Once they announced Highway 413, many builders and developers, they started procuring land around that area. And now we have some kind of indications or reasons to believe that they must be informed earlier. How it happened, we don't know. Investigation is going on. NDP is trying to hold Premier accountable, the government accountable. Where we stand on that?
Right. So, we are concerned about the timing of this. The government made certain commitments and promises and then broke them. And a few people, very few, are going to make a lot of money off of that. And I think there's a fairness issue here. I think there's deep concerns. We've asked the Integrity Commissioner to investigate. We've also asked the Auditor General, and they're both conducting investigations. So we should hear soon some information about that.
It doesn't come under the purview of OPP?
Well, I understand that the OPP is considering whether to investigate, but certainly from where we sit, we believe that there are the tools within government as well to hold the Premier to account. But we're going to use everything we can, because I'll tell you, a lot of the land we're talking about, as I mentioned, is prime agricultural land. We need it to feed families. We need it to be able to maintain our sovereignty as a nation and be able to continue to be independent. We we've seen that more than ever these days. We need to ensure that we also have protection from flooding. A lot of these, ecosystems help us to protect our own communities. And I know, here in Brampton and Peel region, I've been hearing from people, they're also very concerned that we are going to, regular Ontarians are going to end up picking up the cost of servicing these faraway areas, these communities that just don't make sense. We need to build density here. There are solutions, and I'm really concerned that that the government may have made some decisions here that do, in fact, break the Integrity Act.
Well, thank you, Matt Sile, coming to our studio, and please keep coming, and we can expect more and more visits in future. And as I said in the beginning, that NDP had always very, very strong relations with the Bramptonian people in the Peel region. Andrea Horwath was coming here again and again, and we had 3 MPPs from Brampton. They were the voice of Bramptonians in Queen's Park, but somehow, anyway, during last elections, none of them could win. But certainly, NDP needs to continue taking care of Bramptonian people of Peel region, not only, but because we are from this region, so definitely we want to advocate our issues mainly to NDP leader. So anything you want to say at the end, and thank you very much once again for coming to our studio.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be here. I'll be back. Lots and lots. I'm very, very interested, and always I'm keen to raise the issues that people here are concerned about. It's really important because, like you said, it's an extremely important part of our economy. It's a very rapidly growing area. Yeah. We need to make sure that people in Brampton are not left behind.
Thank you so much, and we'll wait for your next visit.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks a lot.